you ever get tired of the work and just think, you know what, I don't want to work anymore. Let's just go play.
No. Big creepy men that like follow you everywhere, and they're like 40 years old, and they have these pictures of us when we're like 12.
My son knows you are the squeaky clean dad on Full House, but you did some really inappropriate stuff behind the scenes. What kind of stuff did you do?
So here's the other thing I should not have done while working on that show.
They've managed to turn their TV success into a multimedia empire.
They had to be taken away from their mother to be brought onto the set. It was a trauma.
Hello everyone, my name is Jake, and welcome to my new show on Deep Dive, Chaotic Web, where each month I pull up all the chaos the internet has to offer and try to untangle the chaotic webs the powers that be have woven. Today, I'm going to be diving extremely deep into the story of the youngest millionaires turned billionaires the United States has ever seen, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. From the age of 9 months old, crawling across the Full House soundstage to the creation of their multi-billion-dollar empire, all the way to predatory Hollywood set practices they endured. I'm going to dive deep and uncover how these two twins amassed the fortune that dual stars worth today, and the unfortunate pitfalls and dangers they faced because of it. In the 80s, as child labor laws started taking a stronger form in the entertainment industry, studios needed to adapt accordingly so that they could ensure that they had enough time to film scenes. The younger a child actor, the less amount of time they were allowed to work.
As an infant, you can only work about 20 minutes at a time, and that's it. So, they have to have at least 2 kids to play one role.
So therefore, when you had twins, you bought yourself 40 minutes as opposed to 20 minutes of time.
In Hollywood, child labor laws restrict the hours a child can work, so producers often hire twins to play a single role. This not only enables the twins to share the workload, which is good for kids, but it can help them form a deep-seated rivalry of hatred that lasts a lifetime. But of course, that's not the case here. Please welcome the stars of Full House, Ashley Fuller Olsen, Mary-Kate Olsen, and their TV dad, and host of Enough with the Plugs, host of American...
Thus, major Hollywood studios began utilizing twins and triplets to play the part of one character, effectively doubling the amount of time child actors would be able to shoot. If one child wasn't cooperating or able to film, they could seamlessly swap out each twin. And to be honest, at least for me, it was really hard to tell the difference. If this did work for Hollywood studios, it would be an effective strategy to bring down the workload of these young child actors, as the work would have been split in half. However, according to Mary Claire magazine, Mary-Kate has likened her and her sister Ashley's situation to be...
There are some cute kids, to be honest. But the industry is full of weird people.
Quote, little monkey performers, explaining that when she looks at old photos, she doesn't feel connected at all. She ended the quote explaining that she wouldn't wish her own upbringing on anyone. No matter what rules were put in place to protect the children on these sets from being overworked and abused, the stories they tell now unfortunately illustrate a darker view of what Hollywood has presented child actors' work to be. According to Deadline, most of the major studios that employ child performers have not complied with the basic child safety regulations put in place to protect them, often overworking young actors to their breaking point.
This World Series, sign up for Taco Bell Rewards and get a free Doritos Locos Tacos after the first stolen base. Last year, Ozzy Albies scored America free tacos in seconds, and this year...
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were born on June 13, 1986 to Jarni and David Olsen. David Olsen was a mortgage broker, while Jarni was a former ballet dancer.
Ashley came out first. She was the oldest, and everything changed in terms of the house we were living in was a little small. The car wasn't large enough to seat 5.
Now, the Olsen twins' mom is where things begin to get unclear. Any story involving her most likely has a few versions floating around due to their mom's wish of remaining out of the public eye. It is often inferred that their mom may have already been in show business at the time of the Olsen twins' casting, considering her friends at the time also had their children in movies and television.
It was actually kind of a fluke, if you would call it a fluke. I just took my children in one day to an agency and showed them my girls. They were about 7 months old, and they said, well, send us some snapshots, and so I did.
It's crazy how a parent can do that. Like, I don't know, bro. Just for money. They sell their kids out.
And they sent us out.
We sent these horrible indoor photographs of just, your family photos, and they said, send some more.
And we kept sending photographs.
More than cute. The twosome are clearly identical. One phone call changed the Olsen's life forever.
I had no idea that they were the producers, and I just rolled them in there, and they took a look at them.
Now, if this is true, their mom did not want the public view of her to be that of a stage mom, as throughout their lives, the Olsen twins were very adamant in most interviews that their mom didn't want to do it, but still did it. And Mary-Kate and Ashley still don't seem to present a super public view on their entrance into show business.
It was pretty much a fluke, because the girls were actually my wife was with a friend of hers that was at the time visiting her child's agent, and they were just running errands during the day, and I was one of them, and it had come up that we had twins.
Well, what we've heard, my mom's friend went in and told my mom, hey, there's an interview for twins for a TV show.
And the agent told my wife at the time, well, how about sending in some family photos? So, because they used twins, I guess, at that age.
So my mom didn't really want to do it, but she did it anyways. And they just held
I'm
us
getting
and
sick.
thought we would cry or not, and we didn't cry. So they told us.
You started, like I said, when you were 9 months old. Isn't that crazy? Does that seem crazy to you now that it all began when you were just infants, really?
Yeah, especially, our parents really didn't, we'd never been on any other audition before. It was just for Full House, and it was just kind of random that we actually even went on the Full House audition.
Right, and did your folks want you to be on a television show, or just was it an accident, or what happened?
Our mom's friend took us in. It wasn't, we didn't cry when they held us, and that's why they picked us.
Really? So,
Yeah.
now, did your mom know that the friend was taking you kids in for the audition, or
Well,
not?
she came with us, but it was one of those things where, she didn't really care, she didn't really want it, and, we're really lucky that we never had those types of parents.
And so in the beginning, for some reason, I guess national security, they didn't want people to know that the part Michelle, right, was played by 2 people.
Seriously, we never heard that before, never.
Nevertheless, Mary-Kate and Ashley beat out 20 other sets of twins for the coveted role of Michelle Tanner on ABC's, at the time, brand new live-action family sitcom, Full House. Even though the twins were hired to split the workload of playing Michelle Tanner, it is widely believed that Mary-Kate acted on the majority of season 1. Now, on a set like Full House, it is required that there be a child welfare guardian for the child working. That took the form of Adria.
In my history of being in this business, 25 years, they were probably the easiest going, calmest babies I'd ever worked with. From the very beginning, from the first day, they didn't cry, they didn't fuss.
She was the greatest person ever. I mean, she was like,
Sorry, I was
she was the one who took us to the set, and she basically taught us how to walk and talk. And we loved her so much, and we worked with her till we were about 8.
However, Adria was also the twins' acting coach. And unfortunately, as Allison Stoner said, the job description of a producer or PA or any job on a set does not include babysitter, unless otherwise described. And for the Olsen twins, their babysitter was also working for the set. The person who was supposed to be looking out for their every need was employed by the production. There were very few checks and balances, and Adria seemed to raise the twins from early on. Now, at the time of Mary-Kate and Ashley's discovery, they were both infants, and the Full House crew realized they were often getting upset and having separation anxiety from their parents. So the parents were kicked off the set.
They would go to the set about 4 or 5 times a week for starters. Johnny would drive them over, just get them acclimated to the sets and everybody around them.
we detected a highly sophisticated and targeted attack on our corporate infrastructure.
I didn't used to think that a foreign military would come after us, and now they obviously are.
This was something that we
It was very difficult on a 9-month-old infant.
Sometimes they would respond positively, sometimes they might cry.
It became apparent that the separation anxiety that the girls were going through every time they had to be taken away from their mother to be brought onto the set, it was a trauma.
So they're treating them like animals, basically.
Within eyesight of the
they're
child's
taking away
working
from their
because it
mom
breaks the
and
fantasy.
don't
There's suddenly mom, there's reality. Uh-oh, I want to go to mommy.
And it became apparent that Johnny could not be around. It was just easier for us if the parents weren't there. They were a bit of a distraction for the girls. And we basically asked Johnny if she would not mind bringing the girls and kind of disappearing.
A lot of people on the set really kind of stepped in and took that kind of maternal care of them.
In fact, the mom had wanted to pull them off the Full House after the first year because it was disrupting her relationship with the siblings, because she took so much time taking them to the set and being with them. And so they made arrangements with assistants and all to drive them, and the mom decided to let it continue.
Now, Mary-Kate and Ashley were just babies, and they did what babies do. And this caused John Stamos, the actor who played Uncle Jesse and a partial owner in the stake of the show, to want to fire the Olsen twins and replace them with new actors. On a grandfathered panel, John Stamos said, "I said get rid of these kids," and they brought on a couple of unattractive redheaded kids. We tried that for a while, and that didn't work. So I said, okay, get the Olsen twins back. And that's the story. And with their mother removed from the set, the only person who was supposedly hired to look after their well-being was also their acting coach. There wasn't a single facet of Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's life that wasn't either controlled by production or the empire that was being built for them.
Well, it wasn't like when we couldn't read or talk, we would, talk. You know, when we could just say like single words. Adria would be on the side going, you know, say, "You got it, dude," and then we'd go, "You got it, dude."
You got it, dude. No.
This is what I mean when people say they never know what some different possible.
And when September of 1987 came around, Full House premiered to much fanfare. The Full House cast was blowing up, and Mary-Kate and Ashley were at the center of it.
We were pretty much a rating juggernaut in America who discovered our show. And I think a lot of that had to do with the Olsen twins. The popularity of Mary-Kate and Ashley started to grow.
That character became everybody's child.
Before the taping of every show, we introduced the cast. And Ashley and Mary-Kate, they come out and rated the audience, and they would get this information.
America's tiniest tycoons, the Olsen Twins.
Reportedly made a combined $80,000 an episode by the end of the show's run, but the best was yet to come. With a string of home videos, the twins have hit the big time.
They were second only to Bill Cosby in popularity.